The White Lotus wrapped up its second season last night. Don't worry, we're not giving any spoilers. The HBO show has been racking up, get this, nearly 10 million viewers per episode. But here's the thing, each episode airs once a week, which some say is bringing back appointment television, where everyone is watching at the same time. As you know, HBO makes a point of airing shows like Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, one episode at a time, rather than releasing the show all at once. So as a hardcore binger, this like hurt my soul. What do you think?
Yeah, after every episode, I haven't seen the last one because I've been out of town, but I'm going to watch it tonight.
No excuses.
I know. I'm going to watch it tonight because after every episode, I just stand up and go, why? Because I can't wait until the next week. But I get so jealous of people who have never seen the series at all because y'all can watch both seasons all together.
And binge it.
That is so exciting. Do it.
I don't know if I like that.
What do you think?
That's a lot. What do you think, Linz?
I mean, I love watching it every Sunday. It gives you a time to talk. Like, I text my mom, like, did you see what happened? You know, so I think, like, it brings back that whole, did you watch it last night? Like, when people binge, it's kind of like, oh, did you see that whole series? And then you talk about selective episodes wherever you are. Versus, like, if you're watching this religiously, you've seen it on the day that it comes out. And then you can talk about it, like, today. We're all like, oh, my God. It's, like, such a big deal. It's, like, the #1 topic if you've seen the show last night.
For sure. Do you like it? You binge?
I don't binge. I think it's like a code word for just watching TV all day. Like, that's a lot. I don't want to watch 8 hours of TV. That's a lot unless I have the stomach flu.
I do that.
Yeah, I don't.
So specific.
It's a lot. I'm like, after 2 hours long, what are we doing here? But I do like the idea of appointment TV because, like Linz was saying, I think that it's in 2022. It's super difficult to connect on anything because we're all kind of living separate lives.
Yeah.
You know, you can watch The Sopranos in the early 2000s, or you could knock it out this weekend. Like, there's no, pressure to kind of watch things to have something to discuss, and that social currency of like watching those appointment shows back in the 80s and 90s, where if you missed Friends or you missed Living Single, you just missed it. You didn't know if you were going to see it again, so you had to watch it. Otherwise, there would be conversations that you weren't going to be involved in.
That's true. I think when I binge so hard, because I forget it all. But when I don't, I remember it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I've watched so many Nordic noir detective shows. I don't know what happened. I don't know.
You speak for all of us.
You speak for all of us. That's good stuff, guys.
What is that? What type of
Norwegian detective series.
noir?
Noir is like film noir, like detective, but it's Nordic.
Oh.
Cold areas.
That's so specific.
With cold cases.
When I think Nordic, I think noir.
What a nerd. All right, The White Lotus, speaking of, also picked up 4 Golden Globe noms, which were announced earlier today. The smash hit of the summer, Top Gun Maverick, picked up 2 noms, including one for Best Motion Picture and Best Song for Lady Gaga's Hold My Hand, which I like. Another blockbuster, Avatar, The Way of the Water, comes out in theaters this Friday. It's already nominated for Best Motion Picture and Best Director for James Cameron. Elvis also scored with some love with 3 noms. Brendan Fraser got a nod for his performance in The Whale, but has already said he will not be attending because of the claims he was groped and assaulted by the former Hollywood Foreign Press Association president back in 2003. Now, the Globes will be airing back on TV this year. If you didn't know, after NBC, they pulled the show last year. It was all over the lack of diversity within the HFPA. It now says it has 104 new members, with more than half being racially and ethnically diverse. And if you remember, they had not a one black person in the entire group, which seems actually hard
they've got
to
at least
do.
52, it seems like.
Yeah.
I don't understand this. 104 new members.
Right.
So half of those are diverse, but did you keep the 80 old ones? Because then majority still are not diverse? Like, what are we doing? Like, just be super clear about what the voting's going to look like. And I think we're going to see that throughout the next couple of years. Does it change? Are we seeing diverse group of people being recognized and nominated and winning? You know, like, what are we talking about? Because that just sounds like a bunch of words that PR gives you to make sure you put you to the side and tell you to relax versus like actually doing something. So I'll be excited to see what actually happens.
It feels like tokenism a bit. Just like put it in there.
It's just so weird because diversity and all these kinds of words and inclusion are almost like bad words now. and they're so important. Just a real life example. Probably, maybe 8 or 9 years ago, I asked my daughter, who was, probably 10 at the time, I was like, what's the new social media thing that people, because Instagram is so king, and she was like, oh, me and my friends are using TikTok. It had just switched over from Musical.ly, and I looked at it and I was like, this is kid stuff, I'm not doing that, and whatever happened to TikTok? If I had used the advice from a younger demographically woman of color, then I could have been talking to you guys through a golden avatar, but instead I could have been on TikTok when there was like 2,000 users. Yeah. But it's like, I was like, I'm old and I know what's going on, and what does this kid know? But like, that's cute. You do your little TikTok thing. We'll see if that ever takes off. If I had been inclusive and more diverse in my thought, I'd be a millionaire, Erica.
Yeah, no, and it's true.
Right.
It's true, and I think a lot of people can relate to that example. My issue is anytime we diversify, it becomes as if the people who are brought in didn't deserve to be there to begin with. And we really have to talk about the foundation or the fundamental reasons why they weren't represented before. And it has nothing to do with the idea that they weren't qualified. It has everything to do with the idea that they weren't thought of. So I always like to be very clear about that this isn't like, let's open the floodgates. If you have 54 people or whatever who have the potential to be on this board and have the potential to have their voices heard, they've had that the entire time.
Right. Yeah. Why haven't you done it before? That way, that's why I say it seems deliberate, because it's like hard not to include in a way.
Well, not really though. If you're talking about the people at the top, in terms of, if you look at the NFL, 32 teams, 32 owners, all of them older white men. So if you looked at their cell phones, all the people they know are probably older white guys that recommend older white guys or white guys for jobs. If I became an NFL owner, to knock on wood, I would have my boy Jason Brinson, who knows everything I've never known about football. He would be my GM. There'd be a lot more black men in there because I know a lot of men of color and women of color, So I do think that, yes, there is like some element of race, but there is just like some humanity in that, like, you're going to put your people in there. And if you're
like
an older white guy,
bias,
your people are going to be
Maybe it wasn't so deliberate, it's just who they knew.
But that's why the diversity needs to be forced in there sometimes. Break that up.
That's very smart. Well said, everyone. This was kind of scary. Did y'all see this? Singer Patti Labelle was rushed off the stage in the middle of a concert in Milwaukee. It was all over a bomb threat. Take a look.
770. Back to my 8 years. Hold up. Wait!
Okay, so as you can hear, some people in the audience were laughing, thinking it was a joke. Thankfully, police did not find any bombs, so there was no threat to the public. Patti said she would reschedule the show. I just have to say there's been a lot of security issues as of late for musicians, and I'm going back to like Astro World, and Harry Styles just had someone jump. I'm glad to see she had people on the go. I'd rather have that happen than be like, I don't want to mess it up.
I could see that.
I think with all the different scary things happening, like just going into a movie theater and thinking about possibility of there being a gun in there or a bomb threat, it's real life. And so when she's being escorted off stage, I'm happy she has people around her she trusts enough not to give up a real fight. Obviously, she was like, what? And then just kept it moving. And that's the type of security and protection that you want, especially as somebody who's so in the public eye, and probably anything can go wrong in that situation.
Totally.
And so they seem like they quickly acted, and everybody gets a second show, so I think they should be happy that everyone's safe. Plus, you get to see Patti twice. That would be my dream.
1.5 times for Patti.
Exactly. Miss Labelle, the best. All right, we've got to bring this up. I'm so offended by this. I don't know why. Write me. Katie Holmes is bringing back an iconic look, kind of, from the early 2000s. Okay, here she is. She attended the iHeartRadio Jingle Ball over the weekend. What is she wearing? She is wearing a strapless mini dress over a pair of not skinny jeans and then black sneakers. The Y2k fashion trend was a big hit with stars like Anne Hathaway, Lindsay Lohan, Miley Cyrus back in the day. But like, this is so, I don't get it. It almost seems like she's trolling us with the sneakers. I'm sorry, I'm like weirded out by this outfit.
But I mean,
they're not even skinny jeans.
Every 20 years, 25 years, the fashion from that era comes back, and it looks weird to us, but if you're
that looks bad.
If you look around at like millennials and Gen Zers now, there's a lot of vintage clothes. There's a lot of big baggy clothes. Thank the Lord, as somebody that's got a 15-year-old daughter, she's into like that TLC look, like baggy clothes. I'm like, yeah, let's get it. Let's get the biggest pants.
They definitely are doing crop tops and baggy pants, which I
so happy.
But like this is like, I know when you reference vintage and vintage means 20 years and it comes back every 20 years, but really this is to me a big.
Yeah, everything old isn't necessarily vintage.
Right.
Some things should just go.
I don't think I would have liked that outfit 20 years ago. Like that outfit is just not nice.
I definitely did that outfit 20 years ago,
that
for
thing
sure.
is a mess.
If you're like, I mean, I'm right in that, because Katie Holmes is what, like 41 or something like that? She's about, yeah, and if you're
Our
that 41 age, you did that.
The sneakers.
You did it. Just admit it.
I like
She's
that.
43.
There's
yeah.
probably photos.
I'm sure. I guess I just didn't like the flare jeans with the tight constructed with the black sneakers. But you know what?
I like the denim of it all.
We like the denim. We found the silver lining.
I found a silver lining. I
We
could wear
found
denim.
it.